Yes, guys, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Good to be back doing these previews. I'm still on a high from last night, I'll be honest with you. If you have not already watched the matchday vlog from Box Park Liverpool last night, make sure you watch that. Mario had his top off, right? It was all there to see. And yes, Liverpool did not deserve to win that game. We deserved probably not even to draw that game. If you go along with the XG and what the pundits have all said, they were desperate for Liverpool to lose that game. But listen, mentality monsters, you hold it out, right? And that one opportunity that you do get, that's what the top teams do. Real Madrid did it to us in the Champions League final. We didn't deserve to lose that game, but it is what it is. So I'm just over the moon that, Harvey Elliott out of everyone was the guy that actually scored the winner, man. So big up to Harvey Elliott and big up to Arne Slot for making them changes last night. But today, I'm previewing the big one on Saturday. Every game is a big one now, whether it's Southampton, Everton, Newcastle, who we've got next week in the final. And every game should be a cup final. That's how not only the players should treat it, that's how the fans in the stadium should treat this. There can be no room for complacency. So smash that like button, get your comments in, people, and subscribe to the Kop TV if you have not already, people. Massive shout out as well, by the way, to the Premier League and Nike for sending over this fantastic, nostalgic football, the Nike Aero Sculpt. It's an absolute stunning match ball, right? This is the Nike Flight official match ball of the Premier League. As you can see, the ridges are all over the place. It's super padded. It wouldn't even hurt, I assume, if you head it. And I'm actually going to play with this tonight at 7-a-side. So massive shout out to Nike and the Premier League. This reminds me of Steven Gerrard. In 05-06, the Screamers, the Aston Villa goal in particular, is what this ball reminds me of. And Nike have done a sterling job in reimagining it on the 25th anniversary of the Aero. So beautiful football. And this is the ball that Liverpool will be using on Saturday against Southampton, who, let's be honest, have had potentially the worst ever season in their club's littered history. A very good team, a big football club, Southampton, with all due respect to them. But if we look at the table, it doesn't look good. Rock bottom of the Premier League. And listen, at the start of the season, people were saying, well, maybe Southampton can stay up if they get the right players in. Obviously, Lallana went there, Ramsdale went there. But the table does not lie, people. It's 9 points on the board. They're in 20th position. And they've lost more than a handful of games, pretty much all of them, with only 2 wins to their name this season. But that scares me a little bit. And yes, I'll do the lineup prediction, the score prediction. Of course, I do believe that Liverpool win this game comfortably. But going back to what I just said about complacency, we've had that in the past where, you look at the 18-19 season, the draw at home to Leicester, we should be beating them, but we draw the game and eventually that's what cost us the Premier League. I'm not saying if we draw this game, it will cost us, but there is a horrid spreading illness in football, and that is complacency. And you cannot allow 1 ounce of that to slip through. You need to score early. You need to almost put this game to bed as soon as you can, because obviously a massive second leg against Paris on Tuesday as well. So let's not forget, we've done a lot of business with Southampton in the past. Off the top of my head, we've bought Lovren, Klein, Lallana, Lambert, Mane, Van Dijk, obviously. Am I missing more? I'm pretty sure I am. But we've given them a fair few quid and they've rebuilt their training ground off the back of it. And actually, there could be a chance for some rests in this team. But again, from what we've seen from Arne Slot so far this season, the word complacency doesn't really enter his vocabulary, his lexicon. He is very much still, if we have a game, it's the most important game. Whatever that next game is, that's the most important game of the season. And I don't think he necessarily rests the top players. But there is, of course, an opportunity to do that against a very poor Southampton team who really have just absolutely thrown any kind of hope of staying in the Premier League away so early on in the season as well. So let's get into a lineup prediction. Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world, but is there a chance here for Kelleher to get a game? And does that actually halt Alisson's momentum going into the second leg if he does get dropped and rested for this one? Me personally, I'd still keep Alisson in the goal, right? As I said, if you've got the world #1 goalkeeper on your books, you make sure he's playing as many games as possible to give you the best chance of winning. I thought defensively, on reflection, actually, Trent was really good last night. Yes, there was a couple of moments where the wingers got the better of him. But in terms of recovery and the desire to get back and intercept and start moves off, there's not many better at that than Trent. And listen, you know, it's an occupational hazard when you're playing as a right or a left back. You are going to get cooked a few times across the season. But at the same time, you need to make sure that even though it's a weaker team in Southampton, there's just no slip-ups here. So Trent will start. Obviously, Conor Bradley's still out injured. In the middle, it will be Van Dijk and Konate. Again, is there an opportunity for Kwanzaa to play at some point in this game? Who knows? Left back, I would go Kostas Tsimikas, just to allow Robertson a bit of time and energy to recoup and rest and recover and go back into that second leg next week. So I would actually play Kostas Tsimikas, who did threaten to come on last night. I think he actually did in the end. In the midfield, it's the first time in all of the season I've actually said, wow, Gravenberch needs a little bit of a rest here. He was getting outrun. The passes were really off it last night. And yes, Szoboszlai came with the legs and the energy, but even him and McAllister had a below average game last night. I think that's fairly fair to say. But at the same time, you probably do start them. But then again, Harvey Elliott, has he got a shout to start this game now? Maybe. So Endo, does he get a few minutes in this one and not just seeing out the game? Could he actually start in this game? So the midfield is up for grabs. From what we've learned from Arne Slot so far, he will go with the trusted three of Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. But I'd love to see a Curtis Jones involved. I'd love to see a Harvey Elliott playing in the midfield as well. So when it comes down to it, what will Arne Slot do? And just because from what we've learned so far this season, I think he does go with the trusted trio in midfield. And again, Darwin Núñez last night did more in 10 minutes than Diogo Jota did in the full game. You know, he has to get massive credit for that, coming on last night, showing that composure, beating Marquinhos in an aerial duel, which Liverpool barely did in the 95 minutes in the game. So Darwin Núñez, for me, starts through the middle. I think this is a great opportunity for him to score a couple of goals, get that confidence back up, and then it's Mo Salah on the right, and probably Luis Diaz on the left, who again didn't cover himself in glory last night. But is there some people watching this video now that go, no, we need to rest a lot of players. I want Chiesa playing. I want maybe Darwin through the middle. I want Diaz to play. I mean, obviously Cody Gakpo is injured and we did miss him last night. But are there people watching this that want the Endos, the Chiesas, the Elliots, the Curtis Jones, the Tsimikas in this team for Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff? And don't forget, I'll be there. It's my first game back at Anfield for maybe 6 weeks. So I'm so excited for this one. It's first game since the Ipswich 4-1 game a couple months ago. So oh man, I can't wait to get back in that ground on Saturday, feel the atmosphere. Hopefully we win heavily, and you know, we can ensure that there's some kind of party atmosphere as we're closing in on winning the Premier League. Who thought I would be saying that, right? Back in August. There's no chance I thought I'd be saying that. But anyway, that's my lineup prediction. Score prediction, I'm going to go 5-1 to Liverpool. I don't think I've done that score prediction this season, but come on, if there's one game where you should, and listen, if it isn't, I'll hold the egg on my face. But if there's one game, it's Southampton at home where you can really look to get your goal difference up and score quite freely. One thing I'd love to see Liverpool do in this game is score a couple before half time. That clinicalness needs to come back. Obviously it wasn't there last night, or you could argue it was, one chance and one goal. So that's my team prediction, that's my lineup prediction. And once again, there's no room for complacency. Don't forget, Big Paul, the Nigerian striker for Southampton, he gave us so many headaches when we played them in the Cup and the League at St Mary's. And don't forget, we've actually beaten Southampton twice already this season away, and they were tough games. So at Anfield, you'd expect it to be easier. There will be, of course, a return for Adam Lallana to Anfield, which I'm sure he'll get a great reception, as he always does when he comes back, whether that's Brighton or Southampton. And I think for a team that's conceded the most goals in the league, you go out there, show no mercy, you punish them and make sure that we can really turn this into a party atmosphere. The sooner the better at Anfield. So I'm going to go 5-1 to Liverpool. There's my team prediction. Let me know in the chat what you think about that one. And of course, if you are at the game, don't forget, I'll see you outside Anfield at around about 5 o'clock for the fan cams. And then on Monday, Doyle is back in the studio and he can tell us all about his trip to Paris. So loads of great content to come on the Kop TV. Smash that like button, get your comments in, lineup predictions, score predictions, and we'll see you on Saturday outside the ground. Take care.